Hello and welcome to this video presentation, Selling Management on EMS with ISO 14001-2015. Environmental management systems do improve performance and can lower costs. Based on the experience of many organizations globally, the following presentation summarizes some of the real performance improvements and cost reductions your organization can achieve through implementing an effective EMS built around the ISO 14001-2015 standard. Have your EMS sales team review the presentation and brainstorm improvements and cost reductions within your organization. Then it's a strong sell to top management. As a bit of introduction, my name is Bill Barnes. I am an IRCA registered principal auditor and BX certified responsible care auditor, management systems developer, and management systems trainer. With about 15 years experience in developing and assessing environmental health and safety management systems, I've taken my experiences and my learning curve and applied it here, hopefully for your benefit. Over the past 15 years, I've been involved in the development and implementation of a variety of environmental management systems in a wide selection of settings, including heavy industry and light industry, from corporate cultures to the shop floor. The ISO 14001 International Standard for EMS and several other leading schemes, such as OSAS 18001N and Responsible Care, provide proven approaches toward organizing your workforce, understanding needs and requirements, and providing a roadmap for success. In all, there are a number of drivers that tend to set direction, commitment, and success. Organizations that take EMS seriously realize tangible performance improvements and reduced overall operating costs. EMS initiatives can be prompted by a desire for recognition, requirement for certification in the marketplace, compliance orders, or just identifying and acting on best management practices. In any case, where there is a strong commitment from management and labor, clear communication of objectives and targets, and a mechanism for continual improvement, EMS tend to have lasting power because they work. They work because good people have identified and created real results. A brand new element introduced in the 2015 revision to ISO 14001 is that of context of the organization. This element requires organizations to consider the needs, expectations, and sometimes compliance obligations of interested parties outside the fence line. Considering political, economic, social, technical, legal, and of course environmental factors of the outside world could foster stronger relationships. These are important when it comes to time for significant changes to the processes, chemicals used on site, expansions, even changes to traffic patterns for deliveries and shipments, or lighting a parking lot. Company brand or product perception and profitability in the marketplace are more and more impacted at the source of manufacture. Knowing how the marketplace plans to share in your success is affected in big part by your consideration and planning around those external interests in your environmental performance. Leadership is another new element to the standard. However, it incorporates roles, responsibilities, and authorities to manage environmental risks from the 2004 version of the standard, with a particular emphasis on leadership accountability and engagement in affairs of the system, such as incident investigation and corrective action planning, internal auditing, and management review. The standard continues to require an overall statement by top management with commitments to compliance, pollution prevention, continual improvement, and protection of the environment. When the commitment is shared and understood, there are often strong cultures that build engagement and lead to strong performance overall. Environmental aspects are those attributes of your products, activities, and services that may have an impact on the environment. When companies first endeavor to catalog these, they often come across many opportunities to better understand and prioritize resources. Often, this results in opportunities for improvement and improved performance, focused on the greatest risks. Compliance obligations are those rules and regulations that an organization is required to obey. In addition, it also includes conformance to the industry standards that may apply, such as recycled content, sustainable sourcing, or carbon footprint. It goes without saying that compliant performance saves legal costs and fines, which are ever increasing these days. Part of the responsibility of a well-managed organization is the setting of objectives for performance that are measurable and engage the workforce to produce positive performance and often reduce overall cost of delivery through lower scrap, operating costs, and resources, human, material, energy. Planning actions to address risks and opportunities and achieve objectives should translate into defined programs that include clear course of action to improve environmental performance and define the opportunities to support objectives. Competent personnel with clear awareness of expectations provide for an educated and focused workforce. Such awareness is accomplished through well-defined training plans and training delivery programs. Strong and clear communication processes, both internal and external, ensures that clear and unambiguous information is shared where and when it's needed, and often at minimized cost. Nowadays, there is more communication by email and through social media forums versus the old memorandum or press releases posted in local newspapers. Ensuring that these new media are traceable is still an important consideration. However, they're often cheaper and quicker to deploy. Ensuring that procedures, required documents, and records of critical parameter monitoring are controlled is the essence of the Documented Information Clause of the standard. The extent of documented information can vary significantly based on the size and complexity of activities and operations, compliance obligations, and the organization managing them. The clause now seeks to ensure that creating and updating of documented information have clear identification, format, media, and review for adequacy and suitability. It also seeks to ensure that information is protected and that distribution, access, and retrieval are managed effectively. Many organizations I audit have SharePoint sites or commercial EMS packages that have many of these featured programmed directly into them. Further, this change should embrace more point-of-use technologies I see in the field, especially in the chemical sector for process and emissions control schemes, things like DCS and PLC programming, and work management systems to demonstrate effective maintenance and repair of critical equipment controlling significant aspects. Operational controls are simply measures to ensure that operations and activities are defined with clear expectations for results. Things like standard operating procedures, work instructions, or even programmed logic controls, or PLC, are all part of operational control. As with quality control, operational control of environmental aspects reduces rework and reject and minimizes resources needed to help lower costs. As you may have seen, an established hierarchy of controls in environmental and safety risk management starts with reactive measures and moves upward to elimination or substitution. Keep this in mind when establishing controls. Taking time to identify potential emergency situations and the risks for environmental impacts and implementing measures to minimize impacts contributes to strong performance and can reduce unanticipated liability costs. In the management systems world, the great W. Edwards Deming is often quoted. Probably one of his most famous is "You can't manage what you can't measure." Setting objectives or goals for an organization for environmental performance and then committing to accurately measuring them is important. You may need to measure mandatory parameters to confirm compliance on a regular basis, You may want to measure improvement opportunities so that management and employees can visualize success. Very often, this success translates into cost reductions that may not have occurred, but for the commitment to try and to measure progress. Similarly, when it comes to conditions being outside your planned arrangements or goals, a process is needed to clearly identify non-conforming conditions, their causes, and identifying corrective action plans and delivering on these plans. This can help avoid recurrence. I conduct a root cause class, and I often start by asking the group, who's fixed the same problem twice? 3 times? 4 times? This gets people thinking and laughing a bit, but thinking about removing contributing factors and finding permanent fixes. One client requested the class for supervisors simply because maintenance and repair costs were out of control. Once a management system is developed and implemented, it is very good practice to periodically plan to audit the effectiveness of the system. There are 2 prevailing methods by which organizations have done this. The classic is auditing by procedure, where an element procedure for a system is reviewed for its currency and accurateness to the workplace and work practices. Nowadays, especially with the revision to this standard, organizations are encouraged to conduct process auditing. For example, you can visit a workplace to see the operational controls are effective. However, they are often also directed by roles and responsibilities, specific documentation, maintenance controls, and equipment performance, not to mention operator competence. So by auditing management, operational, maintenance, and other business processes against the various elements of the system, this better demonstrates the effectiveness of the system as a whole. Finally, conducting periodic management review of the system, its elements including inspections, auditing, non-conformities, performance against goals, consideration of interested parties, provides top management with a report card that demonstrates performance improvements and control of regulatory and operational controls. The purpose of this video presentation was to provide a brief glimpse into the world of environmental management systems and to demonstrate how every element of an effective system can improve performance and reduce costs. There are tens of thousands of organizations globally that have taken on the implementation of such systems over the past 2 decades. Where there is clear understanding of how benefits can emerge, there's often the best case for top management support. I encourage any organization to review internal needs, expectations, and challenges. Do you see merit where any of these elements can address these needs? Even if you get a handful of yeses, it's time to get started with your environmental management system journey. I hope that this brief review provides your EMS team the insight to sell it to your management team. For more information on the revised standard, check out our free videos through the YouTube link shown here, or feel free to contact me further at the email address shown below. Thanks for your time, and good luck.